I came across an interesting post on social media that stated, if a man doesn't have finances, career, and accomplishments, he will be a very unhappy man. The comments were in shambles on this one, and I want to know what you ladies think. Do you agree or disagree with this?
You want to go first?
Go ahead. I'm looking at it because your reaction.
Well, this is the thing. I just feel like, especially since the 2 years we just had, really showed us that things don't matter. It's like there was no VIP room in the pandemic. There was no red bottoms. There was no airmates. Where are you going?
Right.
You know, there's none of that. And so I just feel like we just came through a time where we were taught, what do you really value? And it should be the inside and the spirit as opposed to what someone has. Now, I do believe society does help teach our men that they're providers, but I also think that now we should be in a space of balancing that, what provision really means, as well as what does internal wealth mean. Because there's a lot of people who got money, but they broke in spirit.
Yeah.
Let's have church.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know. I agree with this.
You do?
I do. Here's why. I have yet to have met a man who is truly happy if he doesn't have at least two of the three. Maybe his career is still rolling with it, but you have to have some type of clarity with finances. I'm not saying a ton of finances, but you got it organized in a way that you're not swimming under bills or something. And that you've got accomplishments that you're proud of. You know, you don't have to like build the tallest building in the world, but you have like family that you've accomplished, or you know,
I agree.
Education that you've accomplished. I don't know a man that's happy that doesn't have at least two of the three. And career could be in the works. And I do believe that men put worth in their purpose.
Yes.
And so
right.
I honestly, if I were, you know, single, and I wouldn't get involved with a man who didn't have those three set, because I think that it would become some issue that then would involve our relationship.
If it's purpose, purpose, strong in purpose, strong in education, does the money matter?
Is a career in mind? Because you got to make some money. Like you got to, like, what are we eating? Where are we living? Seriously.
What are we doing?
So yes, it does. And finances to me means that you have some order to it. You're not just like living bill to bill and you've got debt, you know, that you don't have control over. You've got some finances organized that you're like, I'm good. I'm looking forward to making more, but I'm good right now. The only time I see that it doesn't apply with what you were just saying right there, happiness and just, you know, like the pandemic, that's like for an older person who's set. Like an older person who doesn't have to worry about a career, who doesn't have to worry about accomplishments. They're done, they've lived their life. That is when it applies. Like my dad applies to that.
To that.
Today,
mine too.
That doesn't live.
I'm listening to both of y'all, and I get both of it. And I think, when I think about the reason why we as a community, we fight for equality and we fight for equity, is so that we can provide for our community. And when we can't provide for our community, this is when, you know, things start happening. And we start, you know, maybe doing things to get, to be able to provide. And I know it's good to say, it's not about money. It's not about your career. We would love to say that. But we do need equity and we need equality. And that's one of the reasons why we always did this show, to point out, you know, that this is what happens when you don't have equity.
You don't have it.
When you don't have equality. You know what I mean? You know how many men, you know, have probably left their children because they couldn't provide for them? You know, because they didn't feel like, you know, and it's not, and it's a shame because in our society, we like, well, you know what, as long as you're there for the child. But it's like, eventually that child needs to eat, that child needs to be clothed, that child needs to have schooling. That means finances. So that's why we've always talked about, in this country, we want equality, especially as people of color. We want to be able to provide for our families and for our friends so that our men could feel good about themselves. And I'm not, you know, but I'm saying, because when I was just thinking about what you were thinking about,
I don't meet them. I think that's the problem too. I don't meet the men who have the purpose as a focus and the provision. And I think that's that. And for me, with career and finances, and I've had my own for so long, I think it helps me go for more of the purpose-driven. And the educated. When you met your husband, were you dating the potential or the provision at the time?
Well, which husband?
Answer the question.
What? No. When I date, okay, I date It depends, because when I was younger, I was dating for, you know, potential. But when you get older, it's like, this man gotta have this. They gotta have, because they're not happy. You can give a man, like, I'll say this, there are a lot of women that believe I'm gonna be, you know, I can give you everything. I'll do the work, I'll take care of you, you just be here, you make us happy, you take care of it. They still not happy.
Right.
Because they have to have purpose, like you said, and purpose from men.
Facts.
You know, and then there are some men, you can't get a woman unless you have all three of these. Women ain't gonna mess with you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
And
even
that's
saying
just
hello.
being real.
You're right.
That's just being,
You're right.
you know, automatically real. But my whole point is, if we're saying that these are the things that is gonna help men at least get a little more happiness, we gotta make sure that there's equality and equity so that everybody's got a equal shot at being happy.
And it's not fleeting.
That's
and that
all.
husband's coming.